What is going on, Sports Card Fiends? Hopefully you guys are having a wonderful day, and today we are here with a video on who I'm looking out for at the Gold Cup coming up in July. We're already here. It's already July. I guess it's coming up in the next week or two, so I'm pretty excited. In terms of the lineup, I'll throw it up on screen, but essentially it's not any of the some of the B team. Essentially, I would call it a C team. I know some people are offended by us even calling it a B team, but in my opinion, it is a C team. Like, we don't have any of our starters or bench attackers there, and the only position where we have good depth is the midfield, where we don't even have good depth in the first place, so it's a little iffy in my opinion. But there are some things to look out for. Personally, I'll be viewing this video in the lens of more of a what could be a prospecting sort of feature, the highest ceiling of players possible, because in the card market, that's what people typically are going to be on the lookout for. That's what people are going to enjoy. Personally, I'm someone that likes John Brooks, an example of a center back that's starting for the U.S. men's national team. And while I may like him, and while he may have a huge importance in the team, the card collecting community doesn't seem to really value that. So at the end of the day, it's not about who I value or what I value. It's more about, I guess, what the people at large are going to value and kind of what I'm looking out for in those regards. To start, we have Matt Turner, a younger, I guess mid-20s goalkeeper for the New England Revolution, kind of someone that's been lower in the ranks for a little bit now, and you've kind of always heard it clamoring from the MLS crowd that he has to be in contention for the starting role. And personally, I don't see a problem with that. As we've seen lately, Zach Steffen hasn't been the most reliable. He also doesn't get a ton of time at Man City, so we don't get a lot of confidence kind of instilled through Zach Steffen. Beyond that, Horvath did have a great game lately, but again, he's not been anywhere near a even close to constant starter, so he's kind of a variable. And so I guess in general, the goalkeeper position's kind of up for grabs. And honestly, from a hobby perspective, I'm not really looking to buy any of the goalkeepers. Matt Turner's rookie is the 2019 Topps. Given it a peek, I didn't really think it was good value. It was a little bit harder to find, so I guess you have that positive behind the card. But I'm not a big fan personally. I don't like buying the goalkeepers until I know that they've established themselves and honestly are truly established in my heart of fandom. Because even when people are prospecting goalies, like whenever Zach Steffen was kind of seen as the guy, I feel like people are overpaying because people are paying more for him than they'll pay for center backs or other players like a John Brooks again, that I feel like offers us way more and has been way more consistent, has more vivid memories for me on the U.S. men's national team than someone like Steffen. So I'm not going to prospect goalkeepers, when in reality, if you really want some goalkeeper just collectibles for the long term, there's so many great goalkeepers from the U.S. men's national team past that I just go back and get that, because that's all going to be probably cheaper than any of the prospects you're buying now. The next exciting name that I was looking out for was George Bello, a left back from Atlanta United, 19 years old, and has recently been rumored with some Serie A moves. There have been kind of a lot of Serie A rumors within the MLS lately, which has been really exciting to see, and I can't wait to see how those players potentially pan out overseas, but that's all with time to come. Left back is one of the most important positions in terms of filling out depth, other than maybe our six at the moment, because at left back we have Anthony Robinson, which is nice. However, Berhalter doesn't seem to be entirely sold on him yet. We're often mixing out other left backs and maybe even swinging Destin over to the left. So in that regard, not a lot of confidence instilled with me in terms of Anthony Robinson. And then beyond him, we really don't have any other replacements that we've been playing lately. So as far as George Bello goes, in my opinion, I think maybe worthwhile just because of the potential move and also the potential position that he could hold on the team going forward. Not a lot of other people kind of have more of a straight shot into the lineup, but he is the closest, I would say. Not in terms of ability, but just in terms of people ahead of him. The Bowman 2020 is his rookie card. I personally like a lot of the Bowman 2020 stuff. I think it's a really nice looking set, and the base cards are really low pop. So overall, if you have a rookie card in that set, I think it has really high potential. We've already seen people like Kate Cowell, Daryl Dike explode. There's bound to be more, I'm sure, over time, just in certain segments, and there's never really a ton listed on eBay, so you can kind of take advantage of them when it happens. Speaking of rookie cards in the Bowman set, again, here we have Gianluca Busio at 19, currently playing as a midfielder for Sporting Kansas City. A lot of people talk about him playing as an 8 or 6 or, I mean, wherever. Honestly, he's extremely versatile, and that's one of the assets in his gameplay. He's really come onto the scene lately for Sporting Kansas City, and so it's kind of got people all freaking out and wondering what he could potentially be. Again, this is another player who has been rumored with the Serie A, so we'll see how that plays out. But I mean, in terms of the Gold Cup, I'm not exactly excited because, like I was mentioning earlier with the roster, basically our midfield is the one position where we did kind of bring our A to B list guys. We brought Leggett, Acosta, and Yule, which is kind of like Greg Berhalter's crutch in terms of what he just cannot let go of, but also just loves the efficiency of. There's just something about it. And in terms of those three being here, those are all three players that have been starters on the full strength lineup. So I'd imagine they're probably going to get a lot of playing time. I hope not. I hope we see more from Busio. I think a lot of people were hoping more out of this camp in terms of younger players getting minutes, and this seems to be a position where we might be taking a step back. Now, personally, I hope that's not the case, but again, just given the lineup, I'm not really going to trust that Greg is going to play the boys, but who knows. Then next, we have Matthew Hoppe, a 20-year-old winger for us. However, he plays striker. Currently at Schalke in the Bundesliga 2 and formerly of the Barca Residency Academy in Arizona. There's been a lot of clamoring for Hoppe in the past for the lineup, especially during the season when he went on that big stretch for Schalke and was kind of their one shining light in what was a treacherous season. However, since then, the hype's kind of fizzled out a little bit. It seems, again, that Greg is going to be playing him more in a winger role, which I'm not really sure how I feel about, and I'm sure the people that were clamoring for him to be a striker probably don't enjoy that he's getting played out of position now, because this would be his chance to maybe solidify himself in the lineup. Striker is in a position a lot like goalkeeper, in my opinion. I mean, well, where we currently do have a lock starter in theory with Sargent. However, you could easily see him being displaced in the future. Even I, as a big Sargent stan, would like to admit that, anyone could take this position. Will it be him now? Will it be him later? Who knows? But there's a lot of competition and not anyone that's standing out at the moment. So personally, I'm excited to see what is to come from Hoppe. In terms of his cards, though, he has a 2020 Topps Now, which has about 10,000 printed, and personally, I'm not a massive fan of that. 10,000 printed on a Topps Now. Typically, Topps Now are seen in a lesser regard to other products that you can buy and get packs of. So 10,000 printed of a Topps Now, I'm not really excited to go out and grab, but I do see it as something that if he does start to pop off and become, maybe our next striker, you can definitely then go out and buy some while they're still relatively cheap, because there's going to be enough of them on the market that even if he pops off, there will still be buying opportunities readily available on eBay. So I would never sort of rush out and buy these right now. I would just say if anything happens in the future, then go out, grab yourself some Hoppe. Personally, I don't have any right now, because oftentimes whenever people buy Topps Now, they buy 10, 20, 40 to try to minimize the cost, but then that also means they have to resell a lot of their inventory. So I'll wait it out, see how that plays out, and maybe grab their inventory later. And then finally, the player I am most excited to see, and also in regards to our number 9 position being just up in the air, here we have Daryl Dike, possibly our savior coming in from Orlando City. I'm just so excited to see him play, hopefully a lot of games for us. People were, again, hoping that he would play for us during the earlier stretches and some friendlies, maybe Nations League, but that did not end up happening. However, he was a part of the camp, so at least you kind of saw him in that regard. But happy to have him back, happy to have him hopefully playing and scoring lots of goals for us this go around. He did have a great season this last year, going over to Barnsley on loan, kind of being part of their great run up to the promotional playoff, where they did then lose, and he then came back and is now just playing for Orlando City. When will his transfer be? Where will he go? There's a lot of rumors, again, like with a lot of the MLS players at this point. I mean, it has been very heavily a selling league this year, it feels like, and I can't wait to see where DK ends up going. But in terms of the Gold Cup, I mean, just giving him a chance to show off his ability, it's great. I mean, in terms of just ability and physical ability that you can see on the ball. I mean, he just kind of pops off the screen, I think, to a lot of people, and it really gets people clamoring. Now, is he as technical in other senses? Personally, I don't think so, and I think the Berhalter kind of steps him down a peg for that. But that is something you can overcome. So if he does, I mean, like long term, the upside is immense, and hopefully we can see some glimpses of that here at the Gold Cup coming up. Daryl Dike, again, like I mentioned earlier, is a part of that Bowman set. Personally, he's a bit pricey for me at the moment. I would wait until maybe the hype chills out or someone else is our lock starter for a little bit of time. Again, just because someone's our lock at the time doesn't mean that they're our lock long term. So I'm never going to entirely buy or sell a player based on some changes in a lineup. I think that people will often overreact, and you should probably go the other way. So say DK's out of the lineup and doing bad for a little bit, it's probably a good time to buy. Most people would want to sell, but that's why you want to buy then. You got to try not to buy based off performance and then think that other people aren't going to do the same, because the market's pretty efficient. It's not fully efficient, but people aren't dumb. They understand what's going on, and so you're not being a savior. You're not doing anything crazy by predicting based off of what's already happened. I mean, that's the easiest thing you could ever do. So that is some of the fun to come with the Gold Cup. Hopefully you guys are excited, and I look forward to talking about this at the end, kind of seeing what we can come out of this with. Personally, I'm not going to go in with a ton of confidence or hype because, again, it's essentially our C team. I'm not expecting a ton. We already won a trophy with our A team, and now our A and B team players are over in Europe prepping for their next season, so hopefully they can get off to hot starts. So I'm as excited as ever. This will be a great Gold Cup leading us into the World Cup qualifiers and World Cup to come next year. So going to be a lot of fun on the channel for a long time to come in terms of USMNT stuff going on. If you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like. Anything you want to see from me, let me know in a comment down below. And on top of that, if you want to see more videos like this as soon as I go live, make sure to subscribe. And with that said, hopefully you have a wonderful day, and peace.